Got a full panel. Good morning. That was a very quick hush from a room that was nice and noisy. Welcome to, I'm going to get the month right because it's in front of me, March 27th, 2026 ETP panel meeting. I'm going to pass over to staff before we go any further to do housekeeping and roll call.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the March 2026 panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the auditorium, one second. If you are here in the auditorium and in order to avoid a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream through your mobile device or connect to the Zoom platform as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person and presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly and directly into the microphone. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raised hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you will be unmuted. When providing comment in person or online, please speak clearly, state your name, title, and company, and the company you are representing, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Lastly, to ensure a respectful environment, please keep side conversations to a minimum while inside the hearing room. If you need to have a discussion, kindly step outside to avoid disrupting the meeting. Now we'll proceed with roll call. Douglas Tracy.
Here.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Here.
Michael Greenlee.
Here.
Derek Kirk.
Here.
Chair Betancourt, there are 7 members present. There is a quorum. Also present is Jessica Grimes, Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director and Senior Advisor, Kumani Armstrong, Assistant Director and Chief Counsel, Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director of Technology and Chief Information Officer, and Laura Campbell, Chief Deputy Director. Thank you.
Thank you. I am now going to move over to the approval of March's panel meeting agenda. Does anyone have any amendments, changes they would like to make, or do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the panel agenda.
Second.
All right, we better vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so the agenda will stay as it stands. Do I have an approval of January's panel meeting minutes? Are there any corrections that need to be made that anyone can see? It's been a long time since January.
Move a motion to approve January's minutes.
Second.
And could I get a vote on that?
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so I am going to hand it over to Dr. Grimes.
Thank you, Chair Betancourt. Good morning and happy Friday to everyone. Welcome to our 7th panel meeting for the 2025-26 fiscal year. For this panel, we have 39 proposals submitted for review. If approved, ETP will fund projects totaling approximately $12.1 million. These projects fall within the following sectors: 57% manufacturing, 38% high unemployment areas, 60% small businesses, 64% repeat contractors, and 36% are from new contractors. Taking a broader look at the contracts that have been funded this fiscal year, I am proud to share that ETP continues to expand access to new contractors, thanks to the efforts of our staff at our regional offices and our economic development unit. Of the 229 total projects approved this year, 65 projects representing 28% have been awarded to new contractors. These new contractors projects account for $13.4 million in funding and support 11,684 trainees. This month, we are highlighting small business engagement. 12 small business projects are included in today's panel packet. If approved, $682,948 in funding will support small businesses that will benefit 502 trainees. The proposals today will be presented for review and action by Jana Lazarevic and Heather Miguel. Additionally, Jana will present an informational update on the Paid Family Leave Small Business Grant awardees. As a reminder, ETP will pause acceptance of new funding applications from April 23rd at 5 p.m. to May 1st at 8 a.m. This pause allows ETP time to implement potential fiscal year 2026-27 updates to funding allocations and priority industries and initiatives. That concludes my portion of the executive report. I will now hand it over to Mike Gilcable to continue the executive report. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, panel members. Mike Cable, your staff attorney here at ETP, to give you a legislative report. Just a quick update. We are in the second year of our 2025-2026 legislative session. In your panel packet, you'll find the bills that we're currently tracking for you. We're at that time of year, though, that things are moving quickly. Things are being amended. Committees will be going for the next month or so there'll be a lot of activity. And you'll also see significant amendments. The one example that I want to talk about just briefly, because we just got it just got amended a couple days ago, is SB 1059, which is the employment training bill, which you'll see on page 3 of 4 of your legislative memo. That one was amended a couple days ago and made significant changes. It was originally just a placeholder to make changes for ETP's enabling legislation. It's amended. We're looking at it now. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot to analyze. There's a lot for us to do. So I don't have much of a substantive report on that, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. I've also included a copy of the bill itself because it came out obviously after your panel packet, and there's copies available at the back table for the public to review. That said, that's what we're tracking for you. If you have any questions about what's in the legislative memo or any other questions, let me know. Or if there's any bills that you want to track, send them to us. I know Peter Cooper sent us some bills in regards to AI and Gen AI, so we'll start tracking some of those bills as well. That's my report, unless there's any questions.
I do have a question, Council Cable. Just to be clear, I'm just looking at Senate Bill 1059 right now. The devil's in the details, and I always tend to flip to the very last page of things to see what kind of devils are in the details. And one of the proposals under section 4, subsection D, is to eliminate existing trainer-to-trainer ratios, which is very surprising to me. And I'm just like to inquire amongst staff and then amongst panel, is this coming from our staff? Like, have we collaborated to write this legislation, or it's coming from the outside and this is what's happening?
This is totally, I don't speak for the universe, but my understanding is this is totally an outside effort.
Got it.
Your legal unit did not provide any input into this. I'm looking at it in real time, just like you are. Yes, the devils are in the details. I see lots of devils in these details that we'll need to kind of unwind. But my understanding is this is an outside effort.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else with any questions on that one? All absorbing by the looks of it.
It
Okay.
always gets quiet when I do my reports. I don't know why.
Because we have to think.
And they make me sit way over here.
Well, you choose to
I
sit
know,
that far.
I-
I'm going to give you that one. You
I hear
choose
you.
to keep your distance from your boss.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want, I mean, I was next to her, but you know, you get 3 seats. You could choose. You could cuddle up to Kimani if you wanted.
I will work on
Wait.
that. That's
Just saying. Or you could go and sit next to Heather.
true. She's friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's like we want to say things, but we don't. You can tell it's love. And like you give us a thick wad of paper to read at 9 o'clock on a Friday morning with a heavy panel packet. It's okay.
I suspect the legislative report at our next meeting will be more substantive than that. But
You have a nice juicy one for us.
Mhm.
We'll hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Oh,
that, I think we'll be passing it to Tara Armstrong.
I think
Her
so.
report.
That would be me. Good morning, panel members. Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director and your CIO for Employment Training Panel. A few updates in technology today. We're currently developing a project plan to implement a generative AI using Microsoft Copilot. So the goal of the initiative is to support staff in their day-to-day work, improving efficiencies, reducing manual tasks. We're really excited about this cautious but secure implementation that we're going to do over the course of several months. Secondly, ETP's application work group has been focused on streamlining the application process to improve their user experience. So these key enhancements are reducing overall number of pages, eliminating duplicate questions, introducing pick lists and more conditional logic into the application. They're designed to be more efficient and more user-friendly for our customers, but we're going to maintain the integrity of the information. As Dr. Grimes mentioned, that the application will open on May 1st, and these changes will be implemented by then. More importantly, the format and usability of improving this is there's no substantial changes in the information that's being requested from them. There is one new change that is coming, though. It is introducing a system enhancement to support applications aligning with the annual funding cap. So during the training plan process, if the requested amount exceeds the allowed cap for that fiscal year that we decide on in April, the applicants will receive a message to adjust their training plan before submission so they can be aligned with the cap amount. So more written communication will follow, instructions if they need any help, and our command center is always open as well. And that concludes my updates. If there's any questions.
Sorry, you're talking about the overall funding cap that the panel is setting with staff, not the individual contracts.
So when they create their application, I think last year was $500,000. So if they're submitting over that, they'll be alerted to adjust their training plan to be under that cap.
Okay. And then they're bumping the rest of their funding to the next fiscal if they have more than that available?
It'll be for their 2-year contract.
Right. So it's the application process. So what it's going to allow them to do is to adjust according to whatever the panel approves for that fiscal year in terms of single employer contractors, what that cap is, et cetera. It'll adjust for that, right? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying, Tara?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that critical proposals have a higher cap, so if they can self-identify and we can adjust that in-house if it's incorrect in any way, but to allow to that cap. Yep. And
I
I'll
was
pass
just
it to Laura.
wondering, is it not submitted until the adjustment is made?
Correct.
Any other questions? Floor is yours.
All right. Good morning and welcome panel members and stakeholders. Thank you for the opportunity to provide a summary of the Employment Training Panel's funding. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome Janelle Huerta to the Economic Development Unit. Regarding funding, today's panel is for approximately $12.1 million. That includes 11 approved delegation orders for a total of $492,548. Delegation orders are proposals capped at $75,000 and approved under delegated authority by the director on a continuous flow basis. If all the proposals scheduled for today's panel meeting are approved, the panel will fund 39 projects for a total of $12,066,978. We have 222 applications in demand. 86 applications are currently in development, 18 applications are in eligibility review, and 118 submitted applications are pending review. Including today's proposals, we will have approved 258 contracts for a total of $73 million, which is 73% of the total allocation for the state fiscal year 25-26. Together, these proposals are projected to train 66,468 workers in various industries across California. I'd like to highlight some recent accomplishments. Since our last meeting in January, ETP has successfully closed 45 contracts, resulting in $12 million earned by contractors. 9,896 trainees successfully completed training and met all retention requirements. Of these contracts, 7 were multiple employer contracts, 15 were apprenticeship contracts, 16 were single employer contracts, and 7 were small businesses. These outcomes reflect continued progress and impact on expanding workforce opportunities across sectors and business sizes. Thank you. I would like to hand it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions from anyone on that? No? I think we're going back to you guys because we're going to panel proposals. I'm looking the wrong direction. I need to go that way.
Good morning, panel members. We will start with tab 1. This is a proposal from Abbott Cardiovascular Systems, Inc., doing business as Abbott Vascular, Inc. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $599,760 to train a total of 595 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Santa Clara, Temecula, and Manelo Park. And representatives from Abbott Vascular are here to answer any questions.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning, panel members. This is my first trip here. I'm really thrilled to be here. My name is Stephen Payne. I'm the Senior Manager of Training and Development with oversight over our Menlo Park and Westfield, Indiana facilities. I've been involved. I know Abbott has had a really good relationship with the ETP panel for many years, the program. I've personally been involved with it through many companies since almost its inception many years ago too. So again, I'm glad to finally be able to be here and talk to the panel about it. So finding and retaining talent is one of Abbott's greatest challenges, and we remain committed to investing in our workforce development. Our product, the MitraClip, is a highly complex medical device product relying intensively on the training and skills of our manufacturing personnel. I will say, just as a bit of commentary, in my over 25 years of experience with medical devices, our product is the most complex to build from a manual labor standpoint. In virtually all project meetings pertaining to our product and its next iteration, training is a primary focal point, and it is a key component of a successful launch. Each training event for one of our production operators is an investment of approximately $2,000, and that's just in time and labor alone. Each year we conduct over 200 events totaling close to about 9,000 hours of training. And that's just for our skills training. It doesn't include our classroom training, doesn't include other training for core skills focused on setting our employees up for success in their current and their future careers with Abbott. At present, we maintain approximately 3,000 training certifications. That's just for our Menlo Park site. As the focus of our Menlo Park site continues to evolve, we're really excited by the upcoming introduction of new products to our facility that are going to require the training of new skills. We're introducing new processes, new skills that will enable us to maintain, not only achieve our product launch objectives, but really be able to build more skills with our employees and enable us to maintain a steady and very skilled workforce. The courses presented on site are comprehensive, addressing technical expertise, IT competencies, and various soft skills that are essential for the professional growth of our staff. Here in California, ETP has been instrumental in delivering customized training that has strengthened both our employees and our organization on the whole. Our senior management team really is pleased with the results of our past ETP contracts and continues to value this relationship, this partnership with the state of California in helping us develop our workforce. So thank you again for considering our proposal. Thank you to Phil Herrera for all the wonderful support he has provided us over the years. Thank you for hearing me out, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions? I have one, and I'm just more curious than anything, and it's around the certifications. So you say they come out with certifications that aren't, I'm going to say, nationally recognized across everywhere, but within the medical devices.
Correct.
How's that working? Because it's I'm curious because it's actually a larger piece of workforce that's happening in conversation around, like, how do you get certifications to be aligned with one another? So how does it work? Are you working with other medical device companies or that makes them transferable?
It's an interesting question because, and I'll answer this probably in a longer fashion than you'd like, but Phil and I were just talking about this last night. I've been in manufacturing for 37 years now, medical devices for 25. One of the things that's very unique about the workforce for medical devices is it's a very unique field, and it's very hard to find people with the transferable skills from other jobs, other industries that work within ours. Part of the reason we do skills assessments and things like that as well. So what tends to happen is that medical device workers tend to we poach from each other. They will go from companies to companies.
Happens in every industry though, yeah.
Yeah, it does tend to be a field that they stay in for a long time. So typically with our product, there are some similar skills that you may find at other companies, such as handling catheters, using microscopes, processes involving soldering irons and things like that. But the application of ours is still very unique. So what we will do with the certification processes we have is we do make them unique to the processes they are doing. But if part of our application process, part of the screening process for our new hires, is we will put them through skills tests to be able to see which skills are applicable from their past experience, from a quick skills demonstration, and that allows us to then match them with the appropriate production processes and lines on the floor, which then leads to a little faster throughput of training and certification.
So it doesn't necessarily transfer to another medical device, but if they're doing skills-based hiring, it helps them. So it's not a true transferable certificate. The way it read was it was transferable from medical device company to medical device. So I was like, how are they doing this? I'm curious. But it's more a skills-based, that when they go, if they have a skills-based assessment, it's going to help them if they were jumping over to somewhere else or being poached.
Yeah, one thing about looking at the LMS, there is a certificate
Mhm.
you could get in an apprenticeship where they could list that on a resume, right? So if you're Medtronic or Boston, like, okay, they learned this stuff at Abbott, we'll poach him or her away.
But it's not necessarily everyone together doing it as a consortium. It's more one individual.
Standard for it. But I love the questioning because it could be someday if there were a little bit more standardization between the companies. But what they say, if they learn like a catheter tool or whatever, that's what they want. And that keeps them from having to onboard them.
In the world of skills-based hiring
Yeah.
and even apprenticeship in non-traditional fields, this is one of the biggest. That's why I was
Absolutely.
curious, because there's a lot of question about transferable certification.
No, great
in
question.
manufacturing.
And to some degree also, as I mentioned, we are currently looking to roll into a new product into our site. And one of the things that my team is looking at right now is going and taking a look at that product, identifying the skills that match with things we're able to do as well, that we're good at, and be able to say, okay, these are a match. This will make this training process a little bit easier. This is how we can design our certification criteria around it, while also identifying those new skills I mentioned that we realize these are going to require. These are new things we're introducing to our workforce, but
Yeah.
we'll have a plan to implement those.
Yeah, I've got a community college hat on as well, where they're thinking, yeah, this is a certificate that's applicable to be able to transfer. So that's why I wanted to clarify. Fantastic. Any other questions?
I just had one down here. You've had 8 HEP contracts. This will be your 9th. I notice your turnover rate is 8%. This is a fairly large company, a lot of income coming in, and it seems to be heavily reliant on ETP funding for training. And I haven't seen your past contracts. Is your 8% turnover rate been consistent, or is that going down?
It's about consistent. I believe it's about industry standard for our field, going between 8 and 10%, but we're about
Okay.
8%'s about right.
All right, I've seen some other life science contracts come through that are down like 4% and much lower. And with the 9th contract going out with that much funding from ETP for training workers, I'd like to see the retention rate a little higher, drop it down below that 8%. Because you're getting a lot of money for training employees and then losing 8% of them.
Any other questions? Comments?
I will move approval of Abbott Cardiovascular Systems, Inc., DBA Abbott Vascular, Inc., ETP contract number ET26-0273, in the funding amount of $599,760.
Second.
All right. Do I have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And I see none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty. So we are all in favor. The motion's adopted. You are funded.
Thank you all very much. And again, thank you to Phil, and we appreciate the time to be here.
All right, and Jesse Garcia in the LA office was awesome to work with. It was a complicated application, and we talked things about turnover and other things. So great job, ETP leadership as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have is tab 2. This is a proposal from Betts Company. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $476,000 to train a total of 170 workers. Training will take place at their 6 locations in Fresno, Fontana, Sacramento, San Leandro, Santa Fe Springs, and Sun Valley. Representatives from Betts are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel. It's an absolute honor to be here before you today. I represent Betts Company. My name is Andrew Smith. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Betts Company. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Betts Company. Betts started in 1868. It's a long time ago. Started with William Michael Betts having the vision of creating springs and leaf springs for cable cars and wagons so that people could migrate across the United States. His vision took him to San Francisco, where he started Betts Company and operated there for many years. I'm happy to tell you that it has been a family-owned business, family-run, family-operated for that entire time. We're currently on our 6th generation. Interestingly enough, William Michael Betts is still the president of our company. One thing that really stands out with Betts is they value their workforce. We're all family. My last name is not Betts, it is Smith, and I'm still treated as family. They invest in me to upskill and to better myself every year that we spend at Betts. And that doesn't go just for me because I'm the CFO. That is from our lowest level employee all the way to the top. It runs through everything that we do. Our core values are strong, and we indoctrinate every employee and every family member with those core values. Betts Spring moved to Fresno, California, which is recognized as a high unemployment area. By doing so, we've provided a lot of jobs in that high unemployment area. To this day, Betts still makes springs, and we still make leaf springs. Some of them are still used in wagons and cable cars. There's not many left out there, but they still are. They're used at the rides you go on at Disneyland. They're used all over the world. It's a fantastic story. However, the company has evolved. We have 2 business units now. So throughout the process from 1868 to the 1970s, the family realized their specialty is in heavy duty trucks and medium duty trucks. So they want to be able to support that industry. So what they did is started Betts Truck Parts and Service to complement Betts Spring Manufacturing. That's been around for quite a while as well, since 1970. And now we have 6 locations throughout California, 1 in Portland and 1 in Phoenix, Arizona. Our spring manufacturing facility is located in Fresno, California. So the bulk of our employees are there, and that's where our home office is. It's fascinating to have the opportunity to work for a company that truly values the humans that represent it. But I can tell you, our journey has not stopped, and our growth has not stopped. Betts is currently involved in a 10-week AI transformational challenge, where every employee is going to be given the opportunity, starting with a cohort of 20, to upskill and learn how to live in this new world. I just heard you guys talking about it earlier. You're using Copilot. Safe, lives within your Microsoft environment, smart move. But every one of us, everyone in this room, at some point is going to be touching and working with AI. Betts realizes that, and we're investing in our people to make that a reality. I can tell you wholeheartedly that this company will remain family-owned for its entire history, and it will not be stopping anytime soon. Thank you very much for looking at our application, giving us an opportunity to once again participate in this fantastic program. It represents everything that we're trying to do as an organization for the populace of not only Fresno, but those 6 other locations in our great state. Thank you in advance.
Thank you. I am I know Beth's company well, having spent a lot of time in Fresno working with our site down there. I got to know Mike very well many years ago. Any questions from panel on this proposal?
Yes, please. You mentioned that the bulk of your manufacturing staff are located in Fresno County, which is a high unemployment area. I can see from your proposal that a significant portion of them are being compensated less than $20 an hour, perhaps $18.50, which is the minimum that you're providing. Can you talk to me about wage progression for these employees? How soon can we anticipate that they would reach to the second column or the third column where they're $20 and up?
Yeah, so that's definitely understands how expensive it is to live in California. All of us do. It's definitely not a secret. Every other state outside of California talks about us as being one of the most expensive places to live. So in looking at our pay scale, those positions that you're referring to are a minority of our positions. They represent the lowest level of skill. They're typically drivers. We have explored wage increases there, but we also have to make smart business decisions. Those positions are there to allow people who have not had great opportunity in life to have a second chance. Those positions could have very easily just been replaced with FedEx. We don't have to hand deliver our parts, but we do. It is something that we talk about regularly, and being the CFO and a leader that believes in the people that work for me, it is something that I have brought before our very own panel, and we will continue to have those talks going forward.
I'm not very satisfied with that answer. If you could elaborate for me, like the more specifics of the wage progression. So they receive this training from us. It's a 2-year contract. They're being paid $18.50 an hour. At what point in their term and career with you can they anticipate wage progression?
Every year.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what percentage does that look like, or amount does that look like?
Yeah, typically what we do at BETS is a 3% annual increase every year. That is for all the positions across the board, regardless of where their starting pay began. However, with ETP and this upskilling that we're working on, it is absolutely reasonable for those individuals to be considered for an increase to much closer to 20 the first year and then 22 in that second year.
I'm fascinated and curious. You mentioned the 10-week AI training program.
Yes.
Can you share with us how that's being implemented with the manufacturing workforce?
Fantastic. Yes, I'd love to. So the institute that we're working through is called the Vijay Institute, and Atija is the gentleman's name who has a PhD in computer science, Harvard educated. We are utilizing this AI program. The second week of the coursework had us creating agents to automate processes that will blow your mind. You guys just talked about implementing Copilot. That's a baby step into the world of AI. Automating email reading, drafting emails, that helps the executives of the firm. Sure. That's one of the biggest banes of anyone's existence is thousands of emails we get on a weekly basis. But from the manufacturing side, it's fascinating because there is so much that we can do to enhance the life of our workers and allow them to be more productive, to give us better visibility into what they do, but not to replace them. The goal with AI for Beth's company is to give better visibility to leadership because we really do value our people. We really do see them as family. And it is vitally important to us that we not only protect those jobs, but we give people the opportunity to become something greater. And with AI, you can, because the mundane and the functional pieces that you do throughout your day that literally suck the soul out of you at work will be handled by AI. We can focus on the greater things, the improvements that could truly happen, especially in a manufacturing facility, when we're talking about throughput and overhead costs and eliminating errors and mistakes. 100% makes us a better company. We are on the bleeding edge of this AI development. And I do believe it's going to uniquely situate us to not only increase the value of our workforce, but also show more love to our workforce.
I don't see it in the curriculum. So are you looking to add this into the curriculum, or is it something you're funding separately? Are you thinking about utilizing some funds for this? I just ask because it may be a curriculum
No.
amendment at some point. Okay. Any other questions from anyone on the proposal?
Motion to approve contract, Bet's contract, ETP number 26-0252 in the amount of 776,000. I'm sorry, 476,000.
Second.
We'll take
Yeah.
I wasn't
Second.
listening closely.
Thank
No,
you.
so yeah, no. My mistake, yeah, 476,000.
Second.
Any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And none in the room, so we should move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion's adopted, you're funded. Good luck with it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate your hard questions and your challenges. We hope to live up to all of your standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, panel members. We are turning to tab 3 for BFS Group of California, LLC. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $599,200 to train approximately 1,070 workers. Training will take place at their 34 locations in Riverside and San Diego counties, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Lydia Makish, and I'm an inside sales manager with BFS of California. I was formerly the training coordinator, and I'd like to thank you, the panel, for your time this morning. We participated previously and really enjoyed the program and found a lot of benefit to it. I'm here with my colleague, Keith Brahma, who helped us through the program, and we're looking forward to having another chance to repeat what we did in the past. I'd like to say that we appreciate the opportunity to upskill our workforce. We found it a large benefit, and we also find it very important to continue our upskilling of the workforce. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does panel have any questions?
So I noted, and your consultant can advise you, like I always have issues with compensation married to commission
Okay.
in sales. But it looks to be that your post-retention wage for this group would be $18.50, but what's specified down the table is $16.90, which is the California minimum wage. So is it truly $18.50 afterwards, so I can feel a little bit better in
That's
life?
for the high unemployment area,
Yes.
right?
Oh, I'm sorry, this is for job number 1, which is not, it's the priority rate retraining. And so it would be 24.67.
Yes.
But what's proposed in here for the wage range for sales is $16.90 to $50 an hour.
Okay, for sales specifically. So
Yeah.
our salespeople are 100% salespeople.
Mhm.
So it's sales base salary plus commission.
Mhm. So is their minimum truly $16.90 or is it $18.50? Or
So-
23?
So it ranges. It ranges, but typically it's $18.50 is what it is for our beginner base. We have inside sales reps, we have outside sales reps, so they're on different programs.
Mhm. So looking to staff, we hold them to the post-retention wage.
Are you looking at, oh, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's two different.
So their post-retention wage for job 1 is
It's
24.67.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I conflated the two, that we would hold them to that.
Yeah, that's correct.
Mhm.
And so, they would still use whatever that percentage of commission, the 610, I think, in this proposal. But yeah, 24.67 is the minimum for job 1.
Yeah, so they're only using
Sorry.
commission to bring them up to like 24.67 in the job group 1 if they are in the lower end, if they're on that lower end, but they will get that minimum including commission.
Correct.
There may be some who don't use commission, but there'll be those few that do.
Okay.
And I don't believe I don't put you on the spot, but my recollection is the sales force is well above, if we're, get the commission, is well above 2467 with the commission as well. So
Absolutely.
they're highly compensated at the end of the day, but they are 100% sales with the lower base.
But that 32 that are based, forecasted as 32 under 20 and under would then get commission to bring them up to the 20. You wouldn't be able to submit them unless they're coming up at 24,
100%.
whatever, it's
Exactly, yes.
2467
Yes.
with commission. Okay. You're fine. Okay. Any other questions?
I do have a quick question. So I had staff give me some information on your last contract, and your turnover rate. Granted, this was for 2022 when you had submitted, was at 1%, and now your turnover rate is at 10%. I do know that there was a significant reduction in workforce from your previous contract. So can you explain a little bit about that reduction and what may have occurred?
So for 2025, it's a 7.4%. And the reduction, we have some infrastructure, we are in the building industry. So there's been acquisitions within the company, but as well, we've had to have changes that have been made for the company infrastructure. I think that most of what you're going to see are people that, again, like many other companies ahead of me, we have a lot of companies who are coming in and taking a look at trying to hire some of our people who've been very well trained in windows and doors and lumber and outdoor living.
Just so I understand, so the reduction in workforce had to do with restructuring of the company and some of those employees going elsewhere to other companies?
Correct.
Okay. So then you as a company, what are you doing to retain your workforce that you have now?
Well, the ETP program has helped us with our training. We already had a training program in place. I'm going to say that since we were in our last project, I think that so we have different organizations and different divisions within the company. We had a very strong program in our millwork program that was doing a lot of training, and our lumber and our outdoor living have also taken a look at the university type that we have done for more in-house training, bringing in a lot of vendor reps for PKs, making it a much more diverse program and a lot of standard operating procedures. So they're taking it more seriously, I would say, and working with the general managers of each location to make sure that we are getting as much training for our people for them to upskill.
So you're saying that by providing this training and upskilling, that is keeping your employees?
That is helping to retain our employees. That's correct.
Thank you.
And I would note that when we filed the application, we were in 25, at the end of 25. So you look at the preceding calendar year, so we were at a 10%-ish. We just yesterday had HR go back and look, since now we're here in front of you in 26, look back to was calendar year end 25, and we're at 7.4. So we have gone down a hair, and I think you acquired 34 locations in the last year or so.
It's 25 or 26.
Okay, so there's a lot of then, overlap
Yes.
and moving parts, but they have come down.
I think we're seeing general reductions often in turnover at the moment because people are not finding jobs in quite the same way in many industries. I think it's we're seeing some interesting ones and trends. I think this kind of goes to similar, but I just want to bring it up. We are a team of high performers, high achievers. Everyone likes 100% on contracts. It's almost like you build your credit. Your last contract came in at 96%, which is fantastic, which was you requested just shy of 500, got in at 480. It's around the numbers. You're coming in asking for nearly 600. So it's a sizable increase. Can you just give us a bit more background as to what's driving that need for the greater? Because I want to see 100. We're seeing this across, and funds are getting more fought for. So we're just curious, how are we setting up for success to being at least a 96? I'm an overachiever. Sorry.
So on the last contract, I was basically doing it all as a training coordinator. I spoke with management and said that this time around, I would be happy to lead that team. So I have 2 training coordinators who are in place and an HR manager, taking it very seriously and understanding that there's a lot of dynamics in trying to capture all those training hours and making sure that we're diligent and very organized in turning in all the rosters.
Fantastic. So we're seeing there's a greater need with the acquisitions as well for training. So the employee count is going.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And if I could piggyback on that just a little bit, when we wrote the previous very large organization throughout the state, the previous contract actually was submitted before you with their Northern California operations, who for whatever reason didn't get off to a great start. And kudos to Lydia and her team, who came in about halfway through the contract and delivered 96% on their own without Northern California. So I have all the faith that.
Let's keep the money down south and just a small bit goes up north. That's what
right.
happens sometimes. Yeah, no worries. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions, comments on panel?
Motion to approve BFS Group of California LLC, contract number ET 26-0270, with the amount of $599,200.
Second.
Any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there looks like to be none in the room. We'll move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you very much.
All right, tab 3 for CalSpec Enterprises, Inc., DBA California Bath Restoration has withdrawn and will return to a future panel meeting.
All right, next up we have tab 5. This is a critical proposal from Edwards Life Science LLC. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $838,880 to train a total of 535 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in Irvine, and representatives from Edwards Life Sciences are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, Chair and members of the panel. My name is Richa Mukherjee, and I serve as the Director of Learning and Talent Development at Edwards Life Sciences in Irvine, California, where I've worked for the last 7 years. We have engaged with ETP before, and I personally, as part of a semiconductor company out of Newport Beach, California, Tower Jazz, have also benefited from the ETP program. So thank you so much for having us here today. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your consideration of our critical proposal request for the employment training panel funding. Edwards Life Sciences LLC is a leading global structural heart innovation company. And through all of these breakthrough technologies, world-class evidence, and partnerships with clinicians and healthcare stakeholders, Edwards delivers life-changing innovations to those who need them the most. Over the next 3 years, Edwards has projected a CapEx spend of approximately $45 million for our facility in Irvine, California. And as we modernize our facilities, we must also invest in our people. The proposal will support the training for up to 535 current and new employees, including production workers, technicians, administrators, engineers, and managers, all very critical roles for us. These employees will be trained to build the multiple skills needed to meet strict FDA regulations, satisfy customer expectations, and maintain the company's own high standards for quality and reliability. This training comes as Edwards expands its Irvine campus to meet growing demand, hire more workers, enhance product capabilities, and continue to invest in research and development. In conclusion, this request is about developing our people. It's about ensuring that our California-based employees have the skills to thrive in a rapidly evolving industry, remain employed in high-quality jobs, and continue contributing to the innovations that are being driven by the organization. On behalf of Edwards and our Irvine, California workforce, I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration today.
Thank you. Any questions from panel? I have one similar theme to the one before. I'm sure, Phil, you were probably expecting this from the question I just asked at the prior. So this is your 4th contract in the last 5 years. In front of me, I have 2 that show they're in the 250, 300,000 range. One was COVID, was probably an easy one if you had your training down. COVID was the easiest money out there. We're now coming in, critical proposal, looking at a sizable amount difference, so 800 and something thousand. Can you give us some confidence of how you want to achieve that? Because it's a very big difference compared to the last two contracts prior.
No, that's a great question. And we took our time. So Phil and I have been working for more than a year now to think more strategically and broadly of where the company is going from a direction standpoint and the growth goals that we have for our facility in California. And based on these projections and the amount of training that we are going to do and the expansion that we have had in the last few years and continuing to have for the future, that justified that increase in the amount because we considerably had increased, the investment in our facilities, not just in facilities, but also our people.
Okay,
Yeah, I would add that when we do an assessment that Herrera and Company, we look at the other Go Biz incentives too. So we've met with all the key stakeholders, including finance and the C-suite, who would tell us what the plans for the company are going forward. So since we're bringing Cal Competes and CAFTA and ETP, so there in Irvine, we saw right away that there's this huge commitment for CapEx spend and hiring workers. And then, I mean, they have 5,000 workers there, just a really big need. So it really did come together patiently, along with the Jobs First initiative. It all made sense to reach out to Go Biz to see what they recommend. They said, well, we should do it all. We could really use some advanced manufacturers applying for these funds. And I said, sure, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. They are ready. You know, one of the things we did too is meet with all the learning and administration, especially the LMS people, look at like how much training did you do, right? You know, what will you do? And they're going to do great. I'm really proud of the work all of us did, including the Go Biz team on this application.
Fantastic. Any other questions, comments from anyone?
Second.
Do we have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there's no one coming to the podium, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted. Good luck.
Thank you so much today. And I will also take the opportunity to acknowledge Dustin McDonald from Go Biz team. He was really, really helpful. Mark Reeves from the ETP team. Again, thank you so much to everybody involved. And thank you all of you today. Thanks.
Yeah, we don't forget Robert Meyer too. So
Yes.
I know he's in here. So anyway, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have tab 6. This is a proposal from Foothill Packing, Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $329,280 to train a total of 392 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in Salinas, and representatives from Foothill Packing are here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Mark Hollinger. I'm the CFO of Foothill Packing. And I want to talk a little bit about the company. Foothill Packing has been in operation since 2000. It's experienced steady growth. We are now one of the largest farm labor contractors in the country, and we draw heavily on the underserved communities along the corridor. Our headquarters are in Salinas. We draw heavily from the employees along that 101 corridor, high unemployment area. We have employees throughout California, but our strongest concentration is through that in Monterey County and so forth. We are a new applicant, of course, for this. I will say, as a CFO at another agriculture company, I applied and we received ETP funds, took a conservative approach to that so that we made sure we made best use of the funds granted, and we did use the funds that were allocated to us. So, and this company would like to participate in that as well. A little more about the company. We're large. I took a conservative approach again, and we targeted specific areas of the company that had great opportunities for training. Foothill Packing invests heavily in technology. We invest, I'll give two very tangible short examples. We recently implemented software that crosses our transportation department, our shop. We have a fairly large shop because we service all our vehicles, our purchasing operation, and we went from a paper-based system to completely automated. There are several of the employees that had no computer skills before, so we started fundamentally at training them on that, and now they're using the system where they had no experience before. I think that's one example. Another one is we're implementing a timekeeping system, again, paper-based, but eventually we're going to equip all of our foremen, supervisors with tablets out in the field, and that's going to take a lot of training. It helps us. We're getting more efficient at our timekeeping processes, but it also equips them technically. Many have never touched a tablet, quite honestly. I'm proud of the company that we promote within. That's our strong bias. And if you were to meet our employees, our managers, so many of them started out at entry levels. There's clear career path in the field where entry level employees can graduate to foreman, to supervisor, and ultimately to a harvest managing position. There are also other paths. We've promoted to bus drivers, truck drivers, equipment operators, and so forth. So again, I very much welcome the opportunity to present to you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
It looks to be the bulk of your trainees are going to be in that column where they're being compensated less than $20 an hour at $18.50. It notes in here that your wage progression is salary increases or wage increases from 1% to 5% annually. Is that also applicable to the field labor staff?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And so over the course of this.
In fact, yeah, I'm already seeing those increases this year over prior year.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more?
It was about 4% so far over the same period last year. No.
Any other questions from anyone?
I'll just add, I appreciate the overview and the interest in training. Just for your awareness, if you're not already, our office and the state labor agency partnered with Hartnell College to expand a recently developed certificate program for farm workers called the Ag Step program that is competency based and provides credit for prior learning. It was designed with feedback from not only 13,000 farm workers, but a lot of industry partners, I think 200 plus industry partners up and down the valley. And so a really great, really practical tool at the community college that can help provide incredible resources to both you and your workforce, particularly for those workers that have never held a tablet, right? And are really trying to figure out what that looks like. So upskilling farm workers is an incredibly important initiative of this administration broadly, and really appreciate your commitment to that.
Thank you. And I just took a note. I'll definitely look into that. Appreciate that.
Any other questions, comments?
No, but with that, I will move approval of Foothill Packing Inc. ETP contract number ET26-0259 in the amount of $329,280.
Thank you very much.
Second.
And a
Much
second.
appreciated.
Do we have any public comment before we move to vote?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and none in the room. We'll move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Bancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty, so the motion's adopted. We're all in favor. You're funded and good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next up, we have tab 7. This is a proposal from Heritage Companies LLC, doing business as 9th Avenue Foods. They are a new contractor requesting $152,320 to train a total of 136 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in City of Industry, and representatives from 9th Avenue Foods are here to answer any questions.
Hi, Ms. Chair, members of the panel. I'm Diana Trujillo. I'm the Director of HR for 9th Avenue Foods. This is our first time applying for ETP funding, and we are grateful for the opportunity. I'd like to thank Paula Duarte from the field office for valuable assistance in preparing for the ETP proposal. Is much appreciated. California's dairy industry is rapidly evolving. Increased automation, enhanced traceability requirements, sustainability initiatives, and ongoing regulatory updates demand a highly skilled and adaptable workforce. This ETP funding will allow Ninth Avenue Foods to train employees to operate and maintain advanced dairy processing and packaging systems, meet updated food safety and environmental standards, and strengthen leadership and technical capabilities across departments. By investing in our workforce through ETP-supported training, Ninth Avenue Foods will remain competitive, improve operational efficiencies, ensure our employees are equipped to meet the growing demands of California's dairy market, and enable us to be a preferred employer that strives to provide opportunities for team and individual growth. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from panel?
We have a motion to approve Heritage Companies LLC DBA Ninth Avenue Foods in an ETP funding amount of $152,320.
Second.
All right. They're in unison. I don't know. You're giving to Derek. Okay. I didn't know.
Wait a minute. I didn't say anything. It was these two.
I thought
I'm all, you give me the credit, but like these two guys, they were ready.
Communication together. Unity's good at the moment.
My eyes. I said it with my eyes.
All right. We just can't get out. We're just so aligned at the moment. All right. Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
And there's none in the room. We shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty. So we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you.
All right, panel, we will move to tab 8. This is a proposal for Holders Air Conditioning and Heating, Inc., DBA Holders Air Conditioning and Heating, Frontier Plumbing. They are a new contractor requesting $273,000 to train approximately 130 workers, and training will take place at their location in Bakersfield. Representatives are here for any questions.
Good morning.
Good morning, panel. Thank you for hearing our project today. My name is Justin Toohey. I am the General Manager of Holders Air Conditioning and Heating. Tell
them how you started.
I started with the company in 2005. I was a installer.
It's his first time. He's a little nervous.
That's
Very
He's been
nervous.
there 20 years.
I've been with the company for
Yep.
20 years. I started as an installer. I worked my way up through the ranks. I was fabricator. I went into service for a few years and then I moved into management and became general manager. And I also run the training facility. We have a pretty extensive training facility. We have a full framed house inside of a shop. We have training equipment. I can break equipment. We have special machines. I can break a condenser fan motor or a run capacitor. Have the trainee actually diagnose the equipment. We have a full training classroom. We do about 1,500 hours a month of training, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on this proposal? Gretchen's pulling a face. I can see it from the side of my face.
So one thing, because I know you're going to ask, right? So
I can see the face.
I know.
And I can
I'm
see
like,
Joe and I'm like,
can
I'm
I just
gonna
start
leave it.
talking?
Yeah.
So on plumbers, the plumbers make the same amount of money as the HVAC guys, right? That's a typo on our 130. So they don't make less. Let's talk about the wages and wage progression, because I know you're going to ask that too. So we do have a lower wage at Central Valley, but part of the issue why, okay, I'll go back to we don't have job creation, right? But past that, about 65% of their incoming people have serious English problematic skills. Their English is not their first language. So we have Porterville Adult Ed help with some of that remediary training with English to get them going into training. So that's why we have the lower wage, but they also progress very fast. So within about 2 years, they're at the top of the wage. I mean, it's very fast. So these guys do about every 6 months, they do every 6-month review, looking at competency and skills and did they complete their training? And then they're in for anywhere between 4 and 7% increases. So they go fast. What else you got?
I'm good, Jill.
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate you anticipating where I was going.
I know.
She had it outlined in here as well for you. So I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I know where it's going. I know what's that. So no, anyone else have any questions, comments on this proposal?
Motion to approve Holders Air Conditioning and Heating, Inc., DBA Holders Air Conditioning, Inc., Frontier Plumbing, in an ETP funding amount of $273,000.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there's none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles. Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion is adopted. You are funded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate
I was gonna
it.
say,
Yo, I'm seeing a smile going between you two. It's good.
next time, know that there's just a bunch of Valley kids up here on the panel.
Yeah.
We're very friendly, we promise.
And I love the fact that my plumbers are trained. I mean, I'm just going to be real.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you walk
yeah.
in that door back there, it's very intimidating.
It's very.
Well, thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Jill would have had you prepped. I know that much.
All right, next up, we have tab 9. This is a proposal from Industrial Threaded Products, Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $174,000 to train a total of 120 workers, and this includes 5 veterans. Training will take place at their 5 locations in Fresno, Orange, San Bernardino, and San Diego counties. And representatives from Industrial Threaded are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Norman Alexander. I'm the CFO at Industrial Threaded Products. We distribute and now make nuts and bolts for a variety of commercial applications. And in particular, with our recent growth and with the expansion into bolt forging, our plans there will really be supported by this proposal to be funded for some of our training. So thank you very much. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from anyone on this? I just had it's a random one. So I saw your productive lab curriculum, and I just had a question of like, what does the good manufacturing processes look like from a productive lab versus the equipment operation, maintenance, and troubleshooting?
Particularly what we're focused on in the production equipment is in the forging area. So that's in particular developing those skills because it's been very hard to find them. So a lot of it we're going to train and develop in-house. The overlap was probably mostly around material movement, the same way that applies in our warehouse operations, doing that efficiently and effectively at the lowest possible cost. So think lean manufacturing and lean processes would be the best.
So what is the productive lab component? So the on-the-job component, not the classroom piece. How does that good manufacturing practice lean fall into that curriculum? Does that make sense?
I think I understand. Let me give a chance at answering that. And you tell me if I've come close. So certainly one of the ways in which we would apply that, if I go back to the example of material movement, would be how do we set up this particular work cell to optimize the least amount of movement and the best delivery of the product into your work cell. So the person who is both being trained on working on the equipment would also be challenged to think about how they then can improve upon it.
I get it. It's a fine line on the definition of productive lab. That's why I was asking, like, I understand when they're learning about the equipment and there's someone side by siding with them. I would say it's a very gray line there about if that's really making the product and being 2 people making the product versus 1, which is part of a definition of productive lab. It's costing you a higher because it's more about their workspace than the actual. So I would just give that a gray, try and use the other ones, but it's just the definition of productive lab. Any other questions or anyone? Comments?
Motion to approve Industrial Threaded Products, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of 174,000.
Second.
Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and there's none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in agreement. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam
Wonderful.
Chair, I'm going to step out for 1 second and we'll be right back.
Just 1 second.
Just 1 second.
Do you want us to wait for you or we'll carry on? Okay, just checking.
Okay, next up is tab 10. This is a proposal from Infineon Technologies Americas Corporation. They are a repeat contractor requesting $100,800 to train a total of 120 workers. Training will take place at their 8 locations in El Segundo, Irvine, Murrieta, San Jose, and Fremont. And representatives from Infineon are here to answer any questions.
Hi, my name is Glenn Jones. Ms. Chair and members of the panel, thank you for having us here. I am a talent development senior specialist at Infineon. I'd like to thank ETP and the panel for the opportunity to present today, and also to thank Marcel Narquette for her assistance in developing our proposal. We'd like to begin by expressing our appreciation for the prior support we received from the employee training panel. While we did not fully meet our performance targets under the previous agreement, the shortfall was largely attributable to the unprecedented disruptions caused by COVID-19, as indicated in our proposal. As a California-based semiconductor manufacturer, we operate in an industry defined by rapid technological advancement, stringent quality standards, and highly regulated manufacturing environments, automation, clean room protocols, and energy efficient production. At the same time, we also face an increasing competitive labor market from skilled technicians, engineers, and manufacturing specialists, making the workforce development and retention a critical business priority. Our goal is to build a high-performance workforce in California that can support domestic semiconductor manufacturing, drive innovation, and meet the growing demand for secure and energy-efficient microelectronics. We are committed to successfully executing this project and ensuring strong outcomes for both for our employees and the state. And so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on the proposal? I think you covered my main question about prior performance and what we're looking at.
Ed wanted to give him more money, but then that was taken into consideration.
She was feeling generous, and then it's that piece.
Then
Yeah.
I saw that. And I was like,
Yep. So it's as we always say, it's like building the credit card. You come back and come back again once it's built. So
But just to express, I really appreciate the high wages you have for manufacturing of this. So thank you very much.
And just a note, we actually did come in at more because this project actually combines Infineon and Cypress. So Cypress, they were separate entities. They had 2 separate contracts, both during COVID. Both did not do well because of the same process. So we came in asking for the amount of Infineon plus the Cypress together, but we were right-sized in staff. So we plan to earn this out fairly quickly and come back and ask for more.
that's the way to do it. I also will say I appreciate the transparency of where there are out-of-state contractors and vendors being used, that it's actually being called out rather than maybe hidden or coming at a nearer later date to the end of the contract to say, oh crap, we now have these. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate seeing where it's being used. So thank you for that on the application.
And
I don't
also
know
note
whether
that-
panel members feel the same, but I like the transparency that we're being honest about what we're doing.
And we looked at that too, just not that it matters, but that those out of state, obviously it's selected by their HQ, but it's probably less than 10% of the total training that is actually going on in the contract, but that is used.
It's clear it's specialty training that's not necessarily here in California. All right. So with that, any other questions or comments, or do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Infineon Technologies Americas Corp. in an ETP funding amount of $100,800.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
There's none in the room. We will move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we were all in favor and the motion's adopted. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, I guess.
Yes, hopefully.
All right, panel members, we are moving to tab 11. This is a proposal for International Coffee and Tea LLC. They are a new contractor requesting $240,240 to train approximately 195 workers. Training will take place at the locations in Los Angeles, Riverside, Ventura, Orange, San Bernardino, and San Diego counties, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan Lee. I'm the Global Head of Learning Development for International Coffee and Tea LLC, also known as the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Happy to discuss our training proposal. It's our first time. We're excited for it. We're ready to get started. And so happy to answer any questions the panel may have.
Thank you. Any questions from panel?
It looks to be that you're training administrative staff, manager, supervisor, frontline. Actually, never mind. I'm on the same page and I got distracted by realizing that you are the coffee bean that I drink almost daily.
If I had known, I would have brought.
Kudos to you. I appreciate the high wages. Thank you very much. Obviously, I need more caffeine.
I was going to say, you're not two coffees up here where usually that's, she doesn't have any. This is pretty good.
Can't accept it.
I know. Okay, any other comments from anyone or questions on this proposal?
Motion to approve International Coffee and Tea LLC, ETP contract number 26-0179, the amount of $240,240.
Alrighty, any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
Okay, we shall move to vote because there's none in the room.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, next up we have tab 12. This is proposal for Mariani Nut Company that has been withdrawn, and they will return to a future panel meeting. So we'll move on to tab 13. This is a proposal from Motive Energy Storage Systems LLC. They are a new contractor requesting $537,264 to train a total of 468 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Tustin and Fountain Valley, and representatives from Motive Energy are here to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Barry Vince, and I'm with Motive Companies, Motive Energy, and pleased to be here. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Does panel have any questions?
I do have some questions. It looks to be much of the work that you're doing is electrical related, the installations of EV charging units, renewable solar energy, but I don't see any electricians listed in this. And why?
Because this program does not include any electricians.
But you
We
do
do the-
have electricians that are doing these installations.
We do have, not on this project, no. We do the construction of the sites. We have solar panels, we have battery storage and so forth. And then a lot of times we will partner with contractors that could be union or, other companies that are paying the, I forget that wage, for the contracts that we're combining on.
Okay, so it jumps out at me that like in your curriculum, you're training on electrical or to become an electrician, like wiring, but you're not including electricians in
Correct.
this. So why is that included in your curriculum if it doesn't include electricians or electrician trainees?
It must be wiring for the solar panels themselves,
Mhm.
that we would contract out. But this program does not have any electricians whatsoever involved in it.
Right, so I'm still confused as to why the curriculum includes such things as splicing and termination, wiring, wireless system installation, wireless charging systems, those kinds of things, if you don't have any electricians that are doing this work.
Right.
Like who are you training in this very much like electrical related curriculum that are not electricians, and why would they be receiving this training?
Okay, my understanding is that we have a lot of like helpers that are working with electricians that are doing that type of work. And so they are exposed to that type of work. And we also utilize a nonprofit that helps us with like a pre-apprentice program for the union and so forth. So we do occasionally hire some workers that are going to move towards that field, but we
Mhm.
don't employ them on these projects. Does that explain it? I hope.
I mean, kind of, you're saying like you're not employing those people that have this specialty understanding and have received training in electrical, but you want to still provide electrical training to non-electricians.
Well, it's exposure to electrical systems, and so they do need to have general knowledge of what an electrical system can do, because that's
Right,
very
but you
important.
wouldn't provide splicing and termination to a non-electrician trainee. Like that would be in an apprenticeship program or like union or non-union, either way. Like that's where that curriculum and training comes into. So this looks duplicative of apprenticeship training to
Mhm.
become an electrician.
Do you have any questions for this? I mean, yes, thank you.
So if that's a concern, we can totally take out the courses that you're concerned about, but there are installers a part of this project and they need to have electrical knowledge to install certain equipment. But the electricians come in and they make sure that it's being done safely, right? So even though there are no electricians a part of this project, there are a lot of assistants that have to have electrical knowledge to install the energy batteries and the different infrastructure that this company provides.
So it's around awareness and safe working on these pieces, or there is no, I'm going to use the live current versus non-live current, behind the panel, before the panel. We divide our, I'm going to call lightly electrician roles that we bring in people to go on the other side of the panel. We will contract out state certified electricians for certain work, yet a maintenance crew will do minimal on one side of the panel is the way that we often differentiate.
For that.
We train apprentices in maintenance on fundamental electrical because they need to understand the fundamentals of wiring. They need to be able to troubleshoot. They need to be able to help repair, maintain, but they are not touching where a live electric is or anything that would need to be state certified to do it because we're not going to put team members at risk. And I think that's the same here. It's about an awareness. It's about where they are able to either piece together the correct parts and understanding a live current and a non-live current when it comes to wire. Like the foundational is that, I think that's what I'm hearing. And I think that's where the kind of divide is. And I know there's like the state certified electrician versus a non, and there's often some, but it sounds like it's more on that understanding that safe working more so, and that they don't wire when they're setting it up the wrong way. So when the electrician comes in, there's a accident or something not happening.
That is correct.
Okay.
I did notice in here in your curriculum, you have electrical systems installation. So from what I'm hearing is you've got non-electricians installing the electrical systems, and then you have an electrician come in to turn on the power? I mean, is that?
To wire
is
and
that
then
so
turn on the power.
everything's done by
That's correct.
non-electricians, the electrician just turns the power on?
There's a lot of pre-work that needs to be done with the installation, and so that's where the installers come in. So this project really focuses on the installers. However, those installers do need to have a basic working knowledge of the electrical infrastructure, right? But at the end of the day, they're not the ones that are going in and saying, this is good to go, this is done correctly. Go ahead and turn on the lights. The installers are not the ones that do that. The electricians are, though. But the electricians are not a part of this specific contract because we're focused more on training the installers and their knowledge.
Okay, from me,
Mhm.
an installer of an electrical system
Uh-huh.
is an electrician.
Correct.
But it's a solar system that they're installing as well as a battery storage system. So we have batteries that are basically the size of cars that are going into buildings or outside of buildings to power buildings. And then we have solar systems that are on roofs and so forth. And so there is exposure to electrical systems.
Yeah,
And so
no, I'm
that's
32 years in construction. I'm aware how it goes, but you have electrical systems installation.
Mhm.
That is electrician's work. I mean, if you're installing electrical systems and someone just comes in, electrician, and flips a power switch,
Mhm.
you're pretty much taking an installer to do an electrician's job and then brought in someone with a title electrician to flip a power switch.
That's not true in this circumstance, because the electricians obviously have to do the certified electrician work. And then the installers are doing the structures around that. And that's where the general understanding of the electrical systems comes to play.
I think this is an issue of one of my big bugbears here, and staff know this, around curriculum lists and the devil's in the detail of what that title covers. So I may look at installation of electrical as one, someone else as a double. We're not getting down to the weeds of truly what every course is that fits into that. It may be a true fundamental safety, not to do A, B, and C, but you guys are going, nope, it's going deeper into the actual installation. And I think this is, I feel like the devil's in the detail, and this is the ongoing battle about curriculum lists. Some people write them to the nth degree, some write them more general. There is no right or wrong with that, and that's where I feel like this conversation is going, is they have fundamental basic knowledge they're giving. We're reading it here into more of a detail, but maybe I'm wrong as I'm playing ping pong here. But it feels a bit like that, and it's probably one of my biggest bugbears. I'm looking at staff right now, and Kimani's nodding his head, of that Exhibit B for curriculum is so depending on who's reading it.
And whether or not it's duplicative of apprenticeship.
And I think you can't, but I think you also have to be, sometimes it may be duplicative of apprenticeship training, but they're not running an apprenticeship program and they want to do general foundational electrical with their team members to give them a grounding for safety and all the rest of it. We can't say it's an apprenticeship, you can't train it, because we would then be saying, here's a whole chunk of curriculum that no industry can train unless they have an apprenticeship. There are non-apprentice roles covering some of these as well. And I think if I went out and looked at other programs with some foundational electrical, you could argue that that's what's happening in the apprenticeship world at the moment between traditional and non-traditional apprenticeship programs on approvals. And I think that's the challenge of, like, what are we doing and who's doing the work? I totally get electrical work needs to be done by certified electricians who have the certifications, have gone through the correct training. It's a risky and a high risk business, I think. But there's the other side where there is a foundational knowledge that's needed for those. So they set them up, I'm going to call it safely in air quotes, before those electricians come
Covered
in.
under OSHA, and I guess I could be okay with general electrical safety as a curriculum and stripping out these other items in the curriculum that are definitely for the electrician.
We're willing to update the curriculum to go along with whatever your suggestions are. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Staff will know what I say when general electrical curriculum contains, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve Motive Energy Storage System LLC, ET contract number 26-0264 in the amount of $537,264.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment on the proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there look like there are none in the room, so we shall go to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor. The motion's adopted and you are funded. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. We are moving on to tab 14, which is a proposal for Old Pueblo Ranch. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $331,000 to train approximately 215 workers. And training will take place at their locations in Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. Representatives are here to answer any questions.
Hello, good morning. My name is Kristen Duarte. I'm the HR director for Old Pueblo Ranch. We do have, just like she stated, 2 plants, one in East LA and one in San Bernardino.
Can I just stop you 1 sec? Can they hear online? Because you're very faint.
I can hear online, but do please speak up though.
Yeah, just a bit faint. I can just about, but I just wanted to check. They could hear.
Sure. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
better.
Thank you. So again, so we have two plants, one in East LA, one in San Bernardino. And we do purposely have our plants in those locations because of the poverty level and the unemployment rate. And it's to help bring jobs to those communities. We've been in business for nearly 70 years. We are a woman and minority-owned company, a food manufacturing plant. And our company is focused on creating clear paths for our employees to grow with the company and in their careers. We have about a 95% floor leads and supervisor rate that were promoted from within using these types of trainings. This year, we're bringing in 2 new production lines, so that is the reason for the extra ask from the last time. And I am here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from panel? I heard you say new production lines are coming in for the ask and the greater ask. We were still performing, we were at 86. How are you hoping to achieve higher than that with the greater amount, new lines coming in, it gets busy? Can you elaborate further on that?
Sure. Well, the new lines are different than what we have now. So they're not just new, they're completely different. We make chips is our main thing, and we are a co-packer. And so one of our, if you just take like a tortilla chip, our new lines are going to be rolled chips like Takis, which might sound very simple, but it's a completely different line. So
Yep.
It's all new training.
Okay, fantastic. Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve Old Pueblo Ranch Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $331,100.
Second.
Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
And look like there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, next up, we have tab 15. This is a proposal from Senra Systems, Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $204,960 to train a total of 122 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Redondo Beach and Cypress, and representatives from Senra Systems are here to answer any questions.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just waiting for our CEO to come in. He's wrapping up a call, but I can go ahead and get us started here if that's all right. My name is Sarah Tran. It's great to meet everyone. I am heading up our government relations and partnerships at Senra Systems. We're a company that was founded in 2023 by a team of SpaceX engineers. They left the company in order to solve the problem of wire harnesses. And I don't know if any folks have ever seen a wire harness exactly, but they're the things that go into anything from spacecraft to cars. They went into the Apollo 1. They were the thing that led to a $288 billion collapse of that program. And that is why we are here today. We are here because wire harness technicians have not had the training necessary in order to meet the demand of national security and aerospace needs. So with that, I'll let Jordan go ahead and introduce himself. He's our CEO.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm Jordan Black. I'm the CEO of Senra Systems. My background is more from the manufacturing category, anything from fixing roller coasters at the Santa Monica Pier to working on spacecrafts at SpaceX for about 5 years. I led the research and development department there, where I built lots of different manufacturing components. Wire harnessing was one of our biggest pain points in being able to increase our throughput on the aerospace side, mainly because it's a 100% manual process done with very highly skilled technicians today. Saw the need for that and also saw how the entire aerospace and defense community is struggling to continue to hit rate for a lot of their programs as well. So we started Senra Systems to really be the training platform and the scalability in manufacturing for the specific sector too. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on this proposal? Any motions?
Looks great. Motion to approve Senra Systems, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $204,960.
Second.
All righty, so we have a first, we have a second. Do we have any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
They look like there's none in the room. We shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to take, it's 11:05, looking at all clocks, they actually read the same time at the same time. We are going to take I'm looking at staff 10 or 15, 10-minute break and come back at 11:15. Thank you.
Testing. Is this still on there?
All right, there you go. We are coming back. I apologize. Ordering coffee is obviously a hard thing and takes longer than we expected in the lines. So looks like everyone is nearly caffeinated up who needed it. So that I think was the delay. We shall move back to proposals. And I think it's Heather because she's looking at me
Yes.
with that intent
It's
look.
me, I'm ready.
Alrighty.
Next project is SkillServe Inc. They are a repeat contractor requesting $298,200 to train approximately 355 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Los Angeles, Orange, and San Bernardino counties, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Nadine Castellanos. I'm the Director of Staff Development Consultant for SkillServe, who owns and operates skilled nursing facilities in Southern California. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have regarding our proposal.
Good morning and welcome back. I do have a question. It's been a while since you were last at panel. What brought you back? There's nothing wrong with a pause. I'm just curious what brought you guys back.
I think they realized the importance of the HCP program. And during the previous time, they didn't have a dedicated person to oversee the program. So they brought me in. So my main responsibility would be ensuring that we do well with the ETP program and we are compliant.
Okay, fantastic. Any other questions from anyone on this proposal?
Motion to approve SkillServe, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $298,200.
Second.
Any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion's adopted. We're all in favor.
Thank
And
you.
funded. Good luck.
All right, next up is tab 17. This is a proposal from Taylor Farms Pacific, Inc. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $599,760 to train a total of 340 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in Tracy, and representatives from Taylor Farms are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel. My name is Ruby Lopez, and I'm the training manager at Taylor Farms. Thank you for your consideration on our project this morning, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from panel on the proposal? I do have one. It's similar to some conversations we've had with others, is around this contract and prior contracts and on what's driving the increase in the funding that's being asked from a business perspective and that kind of side.
I can answer that for them. The 302,000 contract that was last received was literacy, and it was concurrent with the 599,000. So they were able to 100% spend quite a bit more than they're actually asking for.
So we actually have a successful workplace literacy contract.
Yes, very successful.
Can I just ask, I think actually what I really want to hear is how did workplace literacy go for you? Because we've had many who have struggled. Like, can you elaborate how that's helped the business, the workplace literacy piece that you were doing?
Sure. Actually, I think like 60 to 65% are primarily Spanish speaking. And so being able to train our employees on technology and things like that, using some of the literacy funds has really helped advance their skills and I mean, it was a challenge. It
Mhm.
really was because there was, you know, a certain set of employees that we were targeting, but it really helped advance their skill set in the workplace
Fantastic.
there.
Fantastic. I like how a single employer has managed to make I can't even say workforce literacy work for them to help improve and actually close out, whereas others have been, I know, struggling with it. So congratulations on that. Any other questions from anyone on the proposal?
Motion to approve Taylor Farms Pacific, Inc., ETP contract number 260214 in the amount of $599,760.
Second.
Do we have any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor, then the motion's adopted. You're funded.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is tab 18. This is a proposal from Triumph Protection Group, Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $109,440 to train a total of 114 workers. Training will take place at their 2 locations in Santa Barbara and Vacaville. And representatives from Triumph are here to answer any questions.
Hey, good morning, panel. Appreciate your time this morning. My name is Chad Courtney. I'm the Director of Operations for Triumph Protection Group. And I welcome any questions you might have this morning for me.
Thank you. Does panel have any questions?
I do have a question. You have a higher turnover rate at 19%. Can you elaborate on why that is at the higher percentage?
Yeah, certainly. Last year, we lost 2 large clients. They moved out of state, and that really affected our company. Previous to that, several years prior, we estimate about 9% turnover. So our retention has really been affected just last year. We're back on pace. We gained some new clients in the state, and we're also out of additional states also. So we're looking at probably 9% again this year, if not lower than that.
Thank you.
Any other questions from panel?
Can I ask, our office has been paying a lot of attention to the job losses in Solano County in particular, where Vacaville is located. Are you experiencing the ancillary effects of any of the recent company closures or job losses in Solano County?
Actually, it's changed for us. It's totally the opposite. We just gained Solano Community College.
That's great.
Also Napa Valley, and we also picked up quite a few special events, fairs, and other type concerts in the area.
That's great. Thanks.
Good to hear. Any other questions, comments from panel?
Motion to approve Triumph Protection Group, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $109,440.
Second.
Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there looks to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion's adopted as we're all in favor and you're funded.
Appreciate your time today. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, moving right along. Next up, we have Trojan Battery Company, LLC. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $504,000 to train approximately 360 workers. And training will take place at their 2 locations in Santa Fe Springs. Representatives are here from the company to answer any questions.
Good morning. I'm Stacy Navarrete, Employee Relations Director for Trojan Battery Company, battery manufacturing company in Santa Fe Springs, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you and good morning. Any questions from panel on this proposal?
Do you want to just update us on your previous contract to now and like what's going to be different this time around and just like to hear more?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the previous contract and now this one, there's been an additional focus on employee training and their development within the organization. So we now have a dedicated training department. that specializes not only in the onboarding process and training our employees, but also on that level progression and moving them from a level 1 to level 2 and level 3, and ultimately growing their career with the company.
Any other questions from panel? You kind of took mine.
Motion to approve Trojan Battery Company LLC, ETP contract number ET 26-0124, in the amount of, I want to get it right this time, $504,000.
A second.
Thank you. Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
And there seem to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor, so therefore the motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you all for your time, and also thank you to Jesse and Robert for their help in
You're
the
welcome.
process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, you recusing? Yeah, just let me know.
Madam Chair, I need to recuse myself. from this
Alrighty.
one.
I'm feeling an awful lot like Mike Cable sitting way over here by myself.
He's only stepped out for one. I mean,
All right, next up, we have tab 20. This is a proposal from Valdez Painting Incorporated, doing business as VPI. They are a repeat contractor requesting $313,320 to train a total of 373 workers. Training will take place at their 4 locations in Alameda, Orange, Sacramento, and Yolo counties. And representatives from VPI are here to answer any questions.
Hello, panel. My name is Eric Tickler. I'm the COO for Valdez Painting Plastering. Thanks for having us, and I'm here to answer any questions.
thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Just a quick question. I know in construction, retention is always challenging. So I would like to know what you as VPI are doing to retain your employees.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with our workforce is some seasonality to our work. So we have a lot of outdoor work. So summer, we ramp up with hiring of union personnel. And then when winter comes, we're unable to do that work. So some is within our control, but a lot of it's out of our control. So we have a very good retention rate for our non-union employees, but the union is based on the workload that we have and when we can do the work.
Thank you.
I do have, and it may explain what happened with the last contract then. So your last contract sat right at the threshold of where we might look at right sizing a contract because it sat at 77%, which is, 75 is when we start adjusting. Coming in at 250, coming back at, you recouped 192,000 of that. You're now coming in at 313, which is more than the last time. Last time's performance, can you fill me with confidence we're going to be higher than 77% and we're going to be like 300 rather than 250 kind of piece?
From the very beginning, we were asking for the alternative record keeping based on the remote shadowing of the workforce. We didn't get that till midway through our last contract, and we really kind of over delivered on the second half. So now that we've asked for that and it's been was approved last time, and I believe it will be approved this time, I feel very confident that we'll be able to have a higher percentage.
It's so nice to streamline into systems than it is paper.
Paper is very difficult remotely, for sure.
Remotely or in a central location, streamlining is always good. Any other questions, concerns from panel, comments?
Motion to approve Valdez Painting Incorporated, DBA VPI, contract number ET 260271, in the amount of $313,320.
Second. And is there any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
All right, we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Do I still say Mike Greenlee's name?
He's recused, so
Gotcha.
you don't need to see him.
Apologies. Thank you.
All right, so we are all in favor, so therefore the motion is adopted and you're funded.
Thank you.
And Derek, you can have your friend back. He only left you for one. He didn't have a choice. Mac has a choice. He chooses to sit 3 chairs down.
I know. Just saying I get lonely over here.
All right, it was only one. You wait till September at apprentice panels and it will be different.
All right, next up is tab 21. This is a proposal from Volt Lights, Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $95,200 to train a total of 85 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in Burbank, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning.
Good
panel.
morning.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to present here. My name is Sarah Marie Campbell. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Bolt Lights, Inc. This is my colleague, Beth Cleary. She is our Manager of People Operations. Wanted to thank you all first, for having this program in place, and especially for Elsa and Skylar, who helped us prepare our proposal. This is really exciting for us. We are an entertainment lighting company out of Burbank, California. I'm born and raised in Southern California, and I think that being able to continue to train and have the best entertainment workers in the Los Angeles area is really important to us as an industry, to our owners who both came up, to CalArts grads that met each other in college, went out into the industry, came back and found each other and started this company 15 years ago. We've got a lot of kids that come and start working for us right out of high school or right out of college. So for a lot of our employees, this is their first time in the workplace. So we have a great opportunity to give them transferable skills, not only in entertainment and lighting, but also in just general business practice, etiquette, email, things that you don't even necessarily think about once you've been in your career for a while. So we're excited to answer any questions you might have, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Any questions from panel?
I do have a quick question. So you do have a higher turnover rate, and I don't know if that's unique to your industry or if something happened. If you can just explain and elaborate a little bit more on that for me,
You're
please.
going to hate my answer, but the high turnover rate is actually something we're really proud of. One of the things that we do is we train up folks on our warehouse floor. We teach them how to use this very expensive, very high-tech equipment, and then we let them go out into the world. The people who really succeed in the lighting industry are often freelance, or they'll go work for a performer and be that person's production manager. And so when we see these little birds take flight, that's something that we really take a lot of pride in. We are working to make sure that we're retaining people that make sense on the floor, but we do hope that we're giving people skills that are going to allow them to really thrive in the industry.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's a fairly competitive industry, isn't it? It's like once you've got your first and then you find your way between. And I think it's that same as not poaching, but kind of does happen in that same way.
Yeah, and it's for us, we've been really lucky that a lot of these little birds that we've let fly off, they come back to us with their shows. They go off and work for somebody really incredible, and then they come back and they're prepping a show in our warehouse. And it's really neat to see those people come back really grown up with those skills, really blossoming out in the field.
It becomes full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Can
fantastic.
I just appreciate you coming forward. I just wanted to note for panel, but also for the audience, when we talk about film and television and entertainment in LA, I think we often have this really interesting perspective that it's only the rich and famous and glamorous and massive, multi-billion-dollar corporations. And truly, the base of this industry is companies like yours. Our office and the administration and lots of agencies have done a lot in recent years to try to help the ancillary businesses and the most critical businesses in the entertainment industry. So excited that you came forward and really appreciate your commitment to Southern California, especially as we're trying to figure out how to bolster the industry and keep all of you here rather than letting you go off into other places. You can let your little birds fly, but please stay here in that process.
He's developing the little
Thank you
birds to
so much
stay in
for that.
California, is
Yeah.
what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah.
No, we appreciate it, right? The best lobstermen are from Maine, and I'd like to think the best entertainment industry professionals are from LA.
Right here.
so.
That's right.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Any other comments, proposals? I'm watching people like.
Motion. I want this one. Motion to approve Volt Lights Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $95,200.
Second.
All right. Any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
Any in the room? Does not look like it. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty. So we're all in favor. The motion's adopted. And so you're funded.
Thank you so much.
And for the record, we'll give that second to Michael Greenlee.
Perfect.
Appreciate
Are
you.
we tallying today, Kimani? Are you doing the tally of who gets it?
I was asleep.
Alrighty.
All right, panel members, we are moving on to the multiple employer contracts. So first up in this category, we have Access, DBA Access Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $408,100 to train approximately 110 justice-involved opportunity youth new hires. Training will take place at their locations in San Diego and Riverside counties, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, Chair and panel. Thank you so much for having us. We're really thrilled to be here. Excited to know more about ETP and how we can potentially benefit from this opportunity. Access, I'm the president and CEO. I'm Christy Buckley. I'm here with my colleague, Craig Beswick of JAG, California. We're here today to tell you a little bit about Access and to answer any of your questions. So Access has been in business since 1967. We are a community-based nonprofit organization. We provide soft skills and training to opportunity youth to give them the wraparound services and support they need to get gainful employment. And we're really, really focusing now on those quality jobs and those higher paying wages. And we want to make sure our youth have that access and opportunity and be able to figure out how do we create this pipeline to these employers that have these jobs and these skills that our youth we know can gain. So, and that being said, I would turn it over for questions if you have any questions on our project.
Any questions?
So I'm from San Diego.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. And I'd like to come and visit your facility.
Absolutely.
Personally, take a
Anytime.
tour of it.
I would love that.
And then I did have a question though. So for our multiple employer contractors, we're used to seeing kind of a list of employees.
Yeah.
So you have new hires that you're hiring on, so that wouldn't be exactly applicable to you. But if you could elaborate for us on who are the employers that you're connecting these trainees to?
Right.
And who's hiring them?
So just a little history on Access as well. We've been operating WIOA workforce development program for a number of years. And currently Access is the Youth One-Stop Career Center. So we're very tightly connected with the adult career centers, the JCCs in San Diego. And part of what we do with them is while we're running our workforce development program, we're really trying to come up with, for our youth, are there career pathways that our youth are, one, interested in and can gain the skills and development to get into those trainings. So we've been focusing, we run career academies and panels with construction, healthcare, hospitality are kind of three big ones that we do get a good turnout and a lot of youth that show up. But they don't know what they don't know. And so with this project, we're really hoping to really start engaging with more employers that are in those in-demand industries and figure out how do we connect our youth to these jobs and make sure they could see themselves there and that they're getting the not just the training to be a good employee, but those skills that they need to enter these jobs. So right now we do have letters of support. We're working with a company called Crash Champions that does collision repair. And the amazing thing about them is they've chosen us to be one of their pilots. So we're hoping to start that in the next month or two, where we just maybe have 5 to 10 youth join the pilot, and we can run them through their ICAR training. And after that, they can step into positions. In this industry, there's a lot of older workers that are retiring. And so they're really trying to find new strategies and ways to bring in a new workforce. And so they've chosen us as one of their pilot programs here in the United States. So we're really excited about that opportunity. And the cool thing about that, starting wages, if they get through the training, $52 an hour. So I think that's a good hook for our youth. That's a job we could see them doing. And it's the same in construction. And we really want to ignite interest in our youth. So we have these career academy pathways that we look at in our industries, but a lot of times to keep them engaged, to keep them interested, it really is finding those things that kind of ignite something in them so that we can help them on that career journey. And then at the same time, the number of hours we're with them or the time we can provide those wraparound services, it's very intensive. But we are really experienced at knowing where are the touch points, where do our youth lose interest, where do they drop off. So we're really excited to have an opportunity to prove that some of the things that we've proven as best practices along the way could really benefit with a program like this, where it's really geared towards getting to that quality job, having that livable wage where they can actually have some economic mobility.
Exactly. That sounds really exciting. I'm really happy to visit you. And
Yeah,
have you
we'd
done
love
any partnership or collaboration with the construction apprenticeship programs in San Diego County?
Yes, we absolutely, that we are not the apprenticeship program and
No,
we are
but
not
you would
the
be like
experts,
a
but we
pre-apprenticeship
definitely,
almost.
that's our partnership with that. That's our alignment too with Craig at JAG California and Learn for Life. And then also with the San Diego Workforce Partnership, they have their ETPL list, and we definitely work with their workforce board. There are members of the union on the board and community college. So everything is definitely geared towards making sure that we're maximizing the resources out there and leveraging those rather than trying to start something new.
I have and it's a curiosity. We had a lot of conversation within policy around this group, this population. When I look at this curriculum, how much are you saying usually on average, are they going through commercial skills versus business or job readiness skills? Like when you're thinking about that individual, is more of the focus being used on that job readiness, or is it more on the commercial, like being able to do the technical side of the job?
It's probably tends to be more on the technical side.
Okay.
So the job readiness is key. It's important to kind of establish that base of how to be an employee, how to show up, all those things. But then identifying in that time where they want to go, what kind of skills are they going to need? And then even we do a lot of job shadows. We go tour. We were just at the Port of San Diego touring what different jobs are there. We have career fairs that we put on, and we bring employers that are hiring, even if it's just for them to just get some exposure to what's out there. And could I see myself in this job? Is this something I want to do?
So there's a lot of exploration as well, which is fantastic. Yeah, it kind of went back to, we had a long conversation about wages and where should they be placed. And we were like, let's start with that, the entry level rather than expecting a higher, because they're not always
right.
The experience is what I'd say versus the technically trained. And that's what people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we don't want to stick with that lower wage. We're really, especially in San Diego, cost of living is crazy. And for our youth, it's not fair to keep them at those low wages. So
yeah. Another place to look at, and I just say it because I was hearing you talking about the Crash Champions and all of that side. Riverside Community College is doing really great things with apprenticeship for auto body, but more from the mechanic, like the auto dealership level with the mechanics in the dealership. So just as something, because though it's not San Diego County, it's in the kind of vicinity. Geography's not always good, but kind of like just seeing what someone's doing with helping with that side. So like best practice.
Well, we are doing Riverside too with Learn for Life. They've got
they have a very good auto body that they're placing into like some of their dealerships.
That's fantastic.
I was talking with someone last week about it that they were doing. So just they're very set up for apprenticeship in the non-construction side and supporting that as you're looking at that. Any other questions, comments from proposals?
The contact number 1826-0277 and amount of $408,200.
Second.
All righty. Any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
Yeah, Gretchen seconded it. Loudly, she was showing her love. And no public comments in the room. We will go to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor of the motions adopted, and thank you for our curiosity questions. I think just to give you an idea, this was one that we all looked at and we're like, we love to share the work that we're doing with that. So sometimes we're like, we're just curious. We're not trying to be difficult. We're just curious.
No, I appreciate the curiosity. We appreciate the support so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next up is tab 23. This is a proposal from Glendale Community College Professional Development Center. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $849,847 to train a total of 517 workers. Training will take place at their campus in Los Angeles and at participating employer facilities in Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego counties. Representatives from Glendale are here to answer any questions.
Executive Director, Dr. Grimes, and distinguished panel members. I'm Monica Shishian, Executive Director of Professional Development Center at Glendale Community College. Thank you for hearing our project today. Our partnership with ETP started in 1985, and this is the proposal before you will be our 44th contract. Our mission at the PDC of Glendale Community College is to provide workforce training programs to the business community with the goal of upskilling California workers and give them tools and career ladder opportunities for upward mobility. In our most recently completed contract with ETP, we served 124 employers and trained 447 of their employees. 112 of those employers were from priority industries, and 68%, or 76 of those employers, were small businesses with fewer than 100 employees. In addition, I'm thrilled to report to you that trainees had an average starting wage of $36.59 before training, and the average wage after the 90-day retention was $42.19. This represents a 15% wage gain for these California employees, an outcome we can all take pride in. These trainees not only received pay increases from their employers, but also gained new skills and earned certifications, enhancing their value and impact in the workforce. At Glendale Community College, we deeply value our partnership with ETP, and on behalf of many employers we serve, thank you. Many of these employers, particularly small businesses, lack the resources to secure their own ETP contracts, and we are proud to support them by providing opportunities to upskill their workforce. We would also like to express our appreciation to Executive Director Dr. Grimes, Robert Meyer, Director of Economic Development, Kellen Hernandez, San Diego Regional Office Manager, Lakeisha Turner, Contract Analyst, for their assistance and support with our current proposal. Thank you again, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
More of a statement than anything, not necessarily a question. One, I got a few phone calls. You were featured in the Capital Morning Report. Good on you. That results in my phone blowing up, which is a great thing.
Now we know what to do.
Yeah, now you know what to do. No, please don't all of you do that. But it was great to kind of like see you highlighted in that, and what you just shared with us about the starting wage and then where they're coming afterwards. I would love to have that included in your proposal. So I'm more of like speaking out into the universe of everybody else of please include that and like that line in that statement, and love to hear more about that next time around too. So thank you.
I would say when I was reading it, and looking through the employers list, so I was like, this is refreshing to see the majority, if not all, were under 100 employees. So it's that work that MECs do in helping a lot of those smaller businesses that I think sometimes goes missed when you see the large number of money and then you're like, how many people, or if you don't get into that weeds. So I applaud that. I think it's fantastic when we're helping not just the big, but also the small, and just remembering there's that big population in that way. So yeah. Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve Glendale Community College Professional Development Center, ETP, contract number ET 26-0263, in the amount of $849,847.
Second.
All right. So we have a first, we have a second. Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right. So we are all in favor. So the motion's adopted. You're funded, and go out there and do wonderful things with it.
Thank you so much.
We want Gretchen's phone blown up more. Like nice and early in the morning, don't we?
The look she gave when you said, oh, we'll just do that. She's like, absolutely do not.
Yeah. She'll just put it on silent knowing that we'll get the wrong number. It's
Do not disturb.
Yeah.
All right, next we're moving along to Mount San Antonio College. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $849,048 to train approximately 684 trainees. And training will take place at their location in Walnut, excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I thought I was going to nail this one. Excuse me. Training will take place at their location in Walnut and at participating employers' work sites throughout the state. Representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, Dr. Grimes, panel members, and staff. My name is Debbie Wong, and I'm the Director of Community and Contract Education at Mount San Antonio College, located in the city of Walnut in LA County. And today I am joined by my colleague here who will introduce herself as well.
Yes. Good morning. My name is Alyssa Avila. I'm the Assistant Director for Community and Contract Education at Mount San Antonio College. We'd like to thank the panel for the opportunity for considering our proposal. We would also like to thank our current ETP analyst, Daniel Tran, ETP staff, Chris Raj, our ETP application development analyst, Samantha Wang, ETP manager, Phil Boyer, and Robert Meyer for their support and continuous assistance to the community colleges, California community colleges, and in preparing for our proposal today. So it's a team effort. Thank you.
One of the primary missions of the California community colleges is to advance the state's economic growth and global competitiveness through education, training, and workforce development services. This mission is closely aligned with ETP's priorities to ensure coordinated, responsive efforts are meeting the evolving needs of employers and the workforce. This is what we strive to do and plan to do if our project proposal is approved today. Our goal is to deliver quality targeted training that provides participating employers a competitive edge as they upskill and strengthen and/or expand their operations to compete nationally and internationally. Through ETP support and training, employees gain advanced industry relevant skills and practical knowledge that enhance performance, increase efficiency, and drive innovations within their organizations. We are committed to supporting employers by strengthening their workforce capacity, promoting economic resilience, and fostering sustainable growth. The work not only helps businesses adapt evolving industry demands, but also creates meaningful opportunities for employee advancements, increased retention, and higher wages. We have employers actually waiting in hopes to start training very soon, pending your approval. And we're excited to let you know that at our current contract that had just closed about a week ago, we are performing at 100%. It is because of you that we're able to do this great work. And so we want to express your gratitude and express our gratitude and appreciation for allowing us to meet incumbent workers and adult learners where they're at, and that is at their place of work. So thank you for your time and consideration, and we will welcome any questions you may have. And please excuse my nerves. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any questions from anyone? I guess I have one. You touched on it a bit. Performance has been gradually improving, is what I would say. So when we look at prior performances, you've been at, 77 and 88 and now hitting 100%. This is another jump in the amount of funding coming to you. I see there's now the partnership with the other colleges as well. Can you elaborate how you know you're going to be confident to be like that? We like 100% of that 850 rather than sort of being like, hey, we might be in the low 90s. As you can see, many of the multiple employers are usually coming in at 100% every time.
Yes, thank you for that question. I'll be honest and say that I believe we are set up for success based on our ability to manage ETP contracts in the past. We have held a contract since 2014. And prior to the snapshot that you see in our proposal today, we did perform over 100 before that.
Fantastic.
And now what we're doing intentionally is the fact that we're able to bridge such strong partnerships, not just with local community colleges in our region, but with our chambers. We're working with several chambers in our region to build multiple employer trainings to reach small businesses.
Fantastic.
And that is specifically why we're requesting additional funding, because we're trying to meet employers where they're at based on what we're hearing from our chamber partners.
Fantastic. So you're kind of working the different angles of they come to you or you go to them to maximize.
And now we're collaborating strategically to get this training to their employers.
Fantastic. I like the creative thinking in that way. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Motion, go ahead.
We're getting eager. You can tell it's getting near the end of the day.
Motion to approve Mount San Antonio College and an ETP funding amount of $849,048.
Second.
Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor. Therefore, the motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sorry for saying you trained at Walmart.
Hey,
right.
they could be going on site
They
and
could,
training there. There's
absolutely.
nothing
I
wrong
was-
with that.
I
They're
was
bringing
picturing
training
it-
to the employer, so
I was
it could be
picturing it in
happening.
like the camping area of the store.
I thought you were on mum mode and thinking about what do you need to do.
All right, we're moving along to Marietta Chamber of Commerce. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $849,464 to train approximately 788 workers. And training will take place at the participating employers' work sites throughout California. Representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good afternoon, panel. Patrick Ellis, President and CEO of the Marietta Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Mike Monroe with Framework. Thank you for this opportunity. We're glad to be back before you. I get to say good afternoon, actually, for the first one today. I do want to say a few things just to kind of set the framework, and one also, which that's his company, also address one of the things that I'm sure will come up, at least one. One is just love the aspect of being able to do this on a regular basis. The impact that we're able to have with our local businesses and the businesses regionally is so amazing. And we just love being able to do this. We strategically work with a lot of different organizations. I just came back from the National Associated Workforce Boards Conference this week. I sit still on the Riverside County Workforce Board. Being able to work with all of these different entities to be able to connect with so many different types of businesses and really be an evangelist for this program is something that I take very proudly and really love the ability to be able to share that. I love working with a lot of our chambers, and I love hearing that there are more chambers getting involved in this, because I think that that is still a very big linchpin for a lot of what the work is that we're trying to do. And even though we work with a lot of our partners, GoBiz being one of them, one of the wins that we got for this contract is a very big, amazing manufacturer in our community in Marietta, Cryoquip. We've been working with them for about 3 years to try and get them engaged back in ETP, and we're very happy that we're able to get them in on this contract. So I'm very excited about that. Also excited that this contract will have just slightly over 80% new employers for our contract. But I know that the one question that you're going to have is the healthcare contract, which I talked about the last time we were here, and the challenges that we were having with it and the way it works and everything. But I come with good news. One of the things that we've been able to do, and actually Mike is a very good reason why this is happening. We're actually working now with San Bernardino Community College District, and they have been able to help us in connecting with the right types of employers that we need for this. And we do, as it says, are ready to have the enrollment sheets ready to go and stuff. So we're excited that we're actually going to have some movement now between now and September. So very excited about that. So even though that's been a very, very long process in place. So having said all of that, I'm here to answer any questions for you.
It feels like HWAF's been running for a long time. I keep wondering when is it going to close and we're going to start seeing movement on it because everyone has that same piece. Yeah. Okay. Next year we got another while. And I'm like, please, everyone spend their money. I want to hear the success stories. So I am glad that this found a way. I do have a question, and I think you hit on something. There's a lot of chambers coming in. And I just have curiosity of how do you make it work as a chamber? So you have a success record as a chamber of having large sizable amounts of money given to you and actually coming out at 100%. I've seen others having maybe 50% and challenged in achieving. I'm wondering what the secret is. Is it the employers are training the people themselves? Are you providing the training? How is that all kind of, like, I'm going to say, what do you think is the belief of like why it's so successful within Murrieta?
I'll give you a couple different reasons that I think, and I'll answer the last part first. First, it is a combination of both providing trainers as well as allowing for the in-house training.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that is working with CryoEquip currently too, is that example. Two parts on the other aspect though. One is, and I've shared this, I sit on our Western Association of Chamber Executives Board of Directors, and I talk to a lot of different chambers around this. Some chambers look at ETP as a cash flow type of thing for their entity. And I warn every single one of them, that's the last thing that you can do. You can't look at this as non-dues revenue. This is you are signing a contract to be able to provide services. You don't want to look at this as a revenue generator. There are unfortunately some that have. There were ones that came before me, and I remember the first contract we came to, we knew that we were going to have some challenges with it. And so there are those. The other part of it is though there are now those who are starting to understand it. And because a handful of us have had success, we're trying to show them that progress. But we're also working with those chambers around Southern California that just don't have the bandwidth to do it. We've been doing it long enough. We know we built the secret sauce and can figure it out. And so we're working with those. If they've got a member and they just need training, then they'll reach out to us and we'll help them with that.
Okay, fantastic. I think it's one of the newer models we're seeing, and some are doing really well and some are struggling. So it's a good, just understanding what's happening between those. Any other question?
Can I just add to that? I think you all do an incredible job, Patrick, and that the chamber has, the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber has done a lot of really incredible work here. I think one of the other unique aspects, both you and Nancy in San Fernando Valley also serve on your workforce boards and have that, as you noted earlier, have that really specific and direct connection to the training infrastructure that's being provided and are driving the industry collaboration and voice in a lot of those conversations. And so, not that every chamber CEO needs to sit on their workforce board everywhere, but the commitment and the holistic understanding that you all have developed around workforce is I think
it's the involvement, isn't it? It's the involvement in the local community rather than just being the local chamber.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Fantastic. Any other questions, comments? You're going to rest? Okay. Any other questions, comments from anyone?
I will move approval of for Murrieta Chamber of Commerce ETP contract number ET 26-0276 in the amount of $849,464.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Do I have any public comments online?
There are no public comments online.
And it looks like no one is coming forward for public comments in the room, so we shall move to vote.
I wanted to double check. Did Douglas Tracy recuse himself?
He stepped out. So we'll just mark him as absent on the vote, correct? Yeah.
He's departed.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for clarification. So Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we are all in favor. The motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to the HWAF.
Thank you.
All right, next up is tab 26. This is a proposal from San Joaquin County Economic Development Association. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $371,792 to train a total of 424 workers. Training will take place at employer facilities throughout San Joaquin County, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good afternoon, panel. My name is Francisco Martin. I'm a business retention and expansion specialist for San Joaquin County's Economic Development Association. And I have my partner here that will introduce herself.
Winona Esquivel, analyst for San Joaquin County Economic Development Association.
And we're here to address any questions.
Thank you. Any comments from panel on this proposal? I guess I'm looking, like I have done with a few of these, we're looking at your prior performance, current request of funds. Can you give me, it is more than double of what last time was requested. Can you give us some grounding as to why we're looking for almost double? What's happening in the region, what's growing, what's not? Or was this, we were attempting to see, to be able to feel better for future?
The confidence in our knowledge in the actual program and the requirements when it comes to the roster sheets, and just our roots growing within San Joaquin County. Talking about advanced manufacturing, we do have a couple partnerships within San Joaquin County that we're relying on, and we're opening up the conversation to these smaller manufacturers, large manufacturers, and logistics in general. So just, I would say our growth and our knowledge within the actual project.
I think, and to kind of build on that, we're also educating our partners, chambers, the cities on what ETP can do for employers. So that's been really helpful in getting the word out so that we have employers that are ready and lined up for this contract.
Okay, fantastic. I'm assuming, I know the team at California Natural Products, and I know they were trying to work out how to get into ETP. And so I'm glad they've come over your way to try and locate a way of doing funding before they start thinking about doing it themselves, because they were really excited, but not ready to go by themselves. So I'm excited to see that they actually hopefully will recoup through you guys. Any other questions from anyone else on this proposal? Comments, motion? We're at that time of day. Everyone's like, we're waking, but not waking.
Motion to approve San Joaquin County Economic Development Association ETP funding amount of $371,792.
Second.
All right, so first, over second, do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All righty, so the motion's adopted and you're funded. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move on to tab 27. This is a proposal from Shasta Builders Exchange. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $632,795 to train a total of 355 workers. Training will take place at their location in Reading and at participating employer facilities throughout Northern California. Representatives from Shasta Builders Exchange are here to answer any questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Chad Scott. I'm the director of the Shasta Builders Exchange. It's my third visit here. Thanks for having me back. Preemptively answer a couple questions. My first contract, 0 experience, 0 employers began. We maxed out our contract. We were successful, but we had one employer in particular who pushed us way over the line, almost double what we had requested. That employer didn't come back for various reasons. But we went from 3 or 4 employers engaged to 24 employers on this last contract. And I believe with our commitment to outreach and communication and our capacity to manage this grant, we're going to be able to reach even further into our community. We've also expanded which trades and scopes and different industries, including manufacturing, in our request this year.
Thank you for the preempt. Any questions or comments?
Can I ask 2 questions? and unfortunately you went first, so you get my question. One, what is the relationship between the Builders Exchange and the community college district that is following you, given you're serving very similar territories?
We're partners. We have each other's cell phone numbers. We have meetings. We reach, and that expands our reach into the community. We also make sure we're not going after the same workers. I also cover counties that they don't. So I have access. I'm meeting different people than they are with different focus in different industries. But we work together, whether it's a community outreach programs that they have, or programs that I might offer.
Great. And speaking of communities that they don't touch, but you do, being from Tulare County, I'm incredibly intrigued by the strong list of Northern California counties, and then randomly my home in the Central Valley. What is the connection to us in the South Valley?
Well, maybe
he actually brought that up to me at the 11th hour, and he said we probably shouldn't have listed that county, so it was an administrative.
All right, I won't hold it against you.
But we did at the time, because we were at the very end, we didn't know to make a full change and resubmit was appropriate.
No worries.
There's nothing to say you can't touch Tulare County if there's like a subsidiary working down there, or even just generally.
I'm excited to go back. The lake has dried out now.
There's a rooftop bar in Visalia now. It's a pretty hopping place.
Isn't it like gourmet, like Michelin star restaurants I was being told in Visalia? And I'm like, why would you be?
Hard stretch.
No,
No, I've been told.
With your permission, I'd like staff to retain Tulare County.
Yeah, you really
Yeah,
should.
I mean, there is nothing to stop, like in this contract, to be in Tulare counties. I mean, yes, we geographically see Shasta and we think that, but and we've seen this with the community colleges, we see this with the chambers sometimes as well. Whereas a MEC, they're pulling in employers from other regions because they have that relationship, whether they've worked with someone and they've now moved their business. There is nothing to stop that. It just sometimes is a bit like, oh, but then when we ask the question, they're like, yeah, well, we have people down there, or I vacation down there and I've met someone, and, building that network. And it's perfectly fine in that way. We're not saying just because you're Shasta, you have to be in Shasta. It just affects, the whoas, and that's the only piece really.
So if you're in Shasta, you're looking at the horizon of what other opportunities are there.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear of the collaboration and partnership with the community college. But I'd like to inquire about if you have collaboration and partnership with construction apprenticeship programs for those that are being taught construction.
Indirectly, my organization represents employers who are signatories, but I don't engage in that relationship.
Okay.
Not directly. I advocate for it and help participate with our workforce center pre-apprenticeship program that they'll run annually.
Okay. And then can you help me out with job number 5? And it's a priority rate, it's a HUA, small business, it's set, it's retraining, and we've got 63 workers that are kind of stuck in this first column of being compensated less than $20 an hour. Who are these folks and what's going on there? Because I like them to move up in compensation.
Yeah, on the progression, when I reviewed our submission on this last contract, I didn't see anyone's retention anywhere near that baseline. They're all 20 plus.
Okay.
This is to capture those employers who may be new to the program, who don't understand the direction we want.
Okay.
to
And
go.
that's like 63 workers or trainees. That 43.
40.
I'm gonna get more coffee and do my maths.
It's right. You're looking at the total column rather than
This is the first column. Okay.
Yeah, it's 43.
I'm not comfortable. I wouldn't be able to do the math at all.
Sorry, it's 44. It's 44.
44, 43, 60, 100.
What am I looking at?
You're looking on the bold.
Oh, yeah.
Not the
looking at
column
bold.
which is the total, not the one that's the 20 and under. Mhm.
Okay. There is wage progression. They are gonna move up.
And
But-
what I'm hearing is about where they're allowing for those.
Yeah.
They're expecting it more to be those entry level, just in case, but it may change too. The same with many of these like who are ones. They're sort of like it's potential entry rather than.
Found is, my employer partners who engage in this program become invested with it. and they want to see that success. I mean, they're training, retaining, and hopefully providing a living wage to their workers.
Fantastic. All right. Any other questions, comments from panel?
I will move approval of the Shasta Builders Exchange ETP contract number ET 26-0262 in the amount of $632,795.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Do we have any public comment?
There are no public comments online.
And none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in agreement, so therefore the motion's adopted and you're funded.
Thank you very much.
You're
See you on the rooftop.
In Visalia.
Just don't go after.
Don't go after June. May,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. June starts to get a bit sometimes.
All right, next up is our last proposal, tab 28. This is a proposal from Shasta Tehama Trinity Joint Community College District. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $426,740, train a total of 190 workers. Training will take place at multiple locations throughout Shasta County, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Hello and good afternoon, panel. My name is Alex Thiemann. I serve at Shasta College as project coordinator of contract and community education within the Division of Economic Workforce Development. I'm here with one of my coworkers, Mark Androsky, who serves as Director of Employer Partnerships. And we've really enjoyed the last 2 years of having an ETP contract and seeing the type of options and to increase good training programs, good jobs, wage progressions, and just really having good jobs in our far north region. And we're excited to come back to panel today to do it again. And we're here to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? No?
I will move approval
Go for
for
it.
the Shasta Tehama Trinity Joint Community College District ETP contract number ET 26-0268 in the amount of $426,740.
Second.
Okay, I have a first, I have a second. Do we have any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
And looks like we have none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in agreement, so therefore the motion's adopted and you are funded.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I just say that quite exciting for $1 million worth of training investment in the North State.
The North State, yes. It's pretty
That,
impressive,
like,
isn't
yeah,
it?
right?
Like an investment up there. We remember about them. It's nice when they come down.
I know.
Yeah. All righty. We'll have a praise for the North State. We're now going to get back down to Tulare County for you, shall we?
Well, yeah, soon.
Soon. I was
There's
going to say
some
more
really
been in
lovely
the,
places
more
also
been in the central this time
I
than
know.
it has been in, I guess Fresno's been the closest for you this time. All right, we are now passing it back over. I don't think it's me. I think it's going over to presentations and memos. Yep. All right.
Yep, just one informational only memo. This is regarding the paid family leave small business grant awardees. This was the 4th round of PFL. So we had an open and competitively bid process. We released the solicitation for proposals on January 26th, 2026, and the application period closed on February 13th, 2026. So there was a total of $920,000 available through the PFL Small Business Grant to entities that qualify as ETP multiple employer contractors that are acting on behalf of multiple participating small business employers. And the grant funds are available to these California small businesses impacted by the paid family leave program. The money is used to help offset the costs incurred when training employees to cover the duties of those that are utilizing paid family leave. So ETP received a total of 6 applications, and after reviewing and evaluating all the eligible applications, the scoring committee selected the following applicants for funding. These are also listed on our ETP website. So awardees are San Joaquin County Economic Development Association, Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber of Commerce, and Santa Maria Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Fantastic. Thank you. See more money going to the valley for you, Derek. Yeah, no. Well, yeah, exactly. All right, so we're moving on because we're nearly coming to that time of day. There is an opportunity for panel members now to request any agenda items for future panel meetings. Anyone have anything? This is usually when I get crickets. I got crickets, but I do have one request to panel, and we'll make sure that Doug has this as well. With the resignation of panel member Hill in January, it has actually left us a void on the policy committee, where we are now a 4-panel member and we're a member down. So we are extending the, I'm going to say the invite to panel. I'm looking down this way because this side is policy at the moment. So I'm looking down this long scope to be like, if anyone has an interest, you never know, Rick, you might want to come back and join the party. If anyone has an interest in serving on policy, he's like, I've had my Snickers, I'm not listening to it. If anyone does have an interest in serving on policy, you get to see the Thursday afternoon with the 3 of us this way. You would like to?
Count me in.
Count you in. There we go. If there's anyone else as well, I'm not saying that Greenlee, you are. I just need you to express your interest to Jessica via email by next Friday. So send her an official email. Anyone else wishes to, they're welcome to, and then there'll be the decision made. All right. So that's that part. I am now getting to that stage, I guess, of where we go to panel doesn't want anything else. We're now moving to a public comment to those matters that are not on the agenda, but the opportunity for public to make any comments they wish. The microphone's there if there's any member of the public. There's only maybe 1 or 2 in the room left. So do we have any online? Stefan's laughing. It's like it's that time.
There are no public comments online.
And the room's like, they're all getting ready for this afternoon. Yeah, I guess I could just remind everyone that we do have, especially those listening, we are in the second of our apprenticeship funding listening sessions this afternoon. So some of us are going to be in great spirits because we will be back in this room. At 2:30, there is also a Zoom link out on the website, but it is all to do with the equitable distribution of apprenticeship funding. The first one was done just the other week in Long Beach. If anyone wants exciting viewing for the next hour, they could sit and watch that video for an entice to be able to prep ready for this afternoon. But yes, we will have the apprenticeship listening session in an hour, just over an hour and a half, scheduled from 2:30 till 4:30. All right. Okay, with that, I seem like we've got no public comment, correct, Stefan? All right. I guess I need to ask, does anyone have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Hang on, motion, but I guess that's a first and a second, and I guess we have to vote. You got to
Jennifer
work.
Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we are all in an agreement. We are finishing and adjourning this meeting at 12:26. There we go.